Okay, so this example is going to be finding the equation of a line that connects 2 points and writing that line in slope-intercept form using only slope-intercept form. Okay, there's another method that uses point-slope form. You can check out the previous video for that one. So this one's only going to be using slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. The first step for either method is always the same. You have to find the slope. And if you recall, the slope formula is m for slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, the change in y over the change in x. So where do we find these y2s and y1s and x2s and x1s? Well, it's the points that are given in the problem. So this problem is connecting, we're finding the equation of the line that connects the point 2, 7, that'll be my x1 and my y1, and -8, -8, that'll be x2, y2. Okay. And we're starting off by finding the slope of the line that's going to connect those two. So plug in the values, y2 minus y1. y2 is -8, y1 is 7. So -8 minus 7 on top. On the bottom, x2 minus x1. x2 is -8 again, and x1 is 2. Okay. So subtract the top numbers, subtract the bottom numbers. That'll be -15 on top and -10 on the bottom. Okay. Now that's your slope. That's correct, but it's not in simplest form. And we always want to write slope in simplest form. So since we have a negative over a negative, we know our slope's going to be positive. And 15 over 10 are both divisible by 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. So that is our slope, and that's what we're going to use for the rest of this problem. Okay, so now that we know what the slope is, we have to figure out what the y-intercept is, because that's the other part of slope-intercept form. It's the slope and the y-intercept. So the way we find that is we just use the slope-intercept formula. Okay. The slope-intercept formula, this will be step 2, is just y equals mx plus b. Okay. And we now know what m is. Okay. We know that m is 3 over 2. Okay. What we don't know, what we're trying to find, is we're trying to find b. Okay, so we don't know b. Now if you have an equation with 4 variables, you need to know 3 of them in order to solve for the 4th one. So we have to think, is there a y and an x value that we know? Because we're looking for b. We don't know b. We know m. So we need to know an x and we need to know a y. And those x's and y's are going to come from the point. It's in the original problem. Okay. We're going to use the point 2, 7 or -8, -8. Again, I always pick whichever one's positive. So I'm going to use the point 2, 7 as my x and my y value. Okay. So the y value in that ordered pair is 7. So I'm going to plug that in. We know what the slope is. It's 3 over 2. And the x value in that ordered pair is 2. So I'm going to plug that in for x. Okay. And we don't know what b is. Okay. But if we know the other 3, we could solve for b. Okay. So now we're just going to solve for b. And again, b is a y-intercept. That's going to give us the y-intercept. So we're going to simplify this. 7 equals 3 halves times 2. Well, the 2's cancel out, so that's just 3 plus b. And then this is just a one-step equation. Subtract 3 on both sides. And you end up with a b value of 4. Okay. So again, just take one of the points from the original problem and plug it in for x and y, and then solve for b. Okay. Now, a lot of people get excited, a lot of students get excited, and that they think that's the answer, b equals 4. That's the y-intercept, but that wasn't the problem. That wasn't the question that was being asked. It was right an equation in slope-intercept form that goes through those 2 points, and that's not an equation for that line. So your last step is to write the equation. Okay. Now, all your linear equations have to have y and x in it. Okay. So when we're writing the formula y equals mx plus b, you do not put the 2 and the 7 back in for y and x, because it has to be the equation for that line. So all we're going to do is plug in values for b and plug in the slope for m. Okay. So our final equation for this line is going to, again, it has to have the y and the x in there. It's going to be y equals the slope, 3 over 2, x, and then plus the b value that we just found, plus 4. So that is the equation of the line that connects the points 2, 7, and -8, -8 in slope-intercept form, using only slope-intercept form.